Hello, everyone, and hope everyone is staying safe. We are going to talk about how functional nutrition and acupuncture can come together and help women specifically with hormonal imbalance. In our studio today, we have Leah. She is a licensed acupuncturist as well as a functional nutrition coach. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Yes, yes. So let's just start with understanding first what exactly happens. We talk about hormonal imbalance. Oh my God, I'm going cuckoo. All those things, in a joking way. But what exactly happens from a medical point of view when the hormones are going out of balance?
Yeah, well, there's a lot to hormones in general. And I think when we think of hormones, we often only think of women and we only think of things like periods and menopause. But there's actually a lot more to it. Really, hormones are the chemical messengers in your body, and they tell several organs, tissues, and even individual cells what to do, when to do it, and for how long. And so, if those messages get miscommunicated or if they get blocked in any way, then the organs, the tissues, and the cells are not being told to function as they should. So a hormone imbalance really, it can affect any part of the body. So it's not just limited to what goes on later in life for women or
Yeah.
throughout our monthly cycle.
Yeah, so it's sort of like think of it like a UPS truck, right? And they have to deliver the packages at different places. And if there's a roadblock in this particular case, making it very simple, then the UPS truck the package is not going to be delivered, and guess you're not going to have what you wanted to have. So same thing, what you're saying. Hormones are messengers. They need to go from point A to point B in our body.
Yep.
If that doesn't happen, that part of the things gets kind of goes out of whack, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yep. That's a great analogy.
In a layman's term. So which hormone imbalance, which particular hormone do you want to talk about? In the sense, there are over 50 hormones in our body, right?
Yeah.
So is there a particular one that is your favorite that you want to talk about?
What is my favorite hormone? I love that question. No, I think, something that's really big is cortisol and how it can affect all of the other hormones. So that's something that with acupuncture especially, is its effect on the chronic stress response and its ability to reduce cortisol that can shut down some of the other hormones and shut down some of the other functions because it's really focused on the survival of the body. So I guess cortisol is like my least favorite and favorite because it can do a lot of damage and cause a lot of problems if there's too much of it. But it's really something that's very easy to focus on with acupuncture and with nutrition and lifestyle. To help reduce it and then get that back in balance, which in turn helps get a lot of the other hormones back into balance.
Sure. And the cortisol is the one that's the stress one, right?
Yes.
Right. So if it's too much, then we are going kind of crazy. And if it's too little, then we are kind of completely dead in a simple way, right?
Yeah, just to kind of give some perspective. So when your body is stressed, and I'm sure a lot of other practitioners you've had on have touched on this, is that it's focused on survival. And so it's going to shut down the things that are not necessarily in that particular moment. So it's going to shut down digestion, it's going to shut down reproduction. And this is really big for women, especially because it's shutting down the blood flow to the reproductive organs. It's, hampering the effect of the ovaries, which of course regulates our cycle. So it can do a lot of damage when there's too much of it.
I see. All right. So let's just now come to the acupuncture part and the nutrition part. So you want to go one by one, or you want to do it together?
Let's just see how it goes.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So you want to know how they can affect hormone balance overall? Well, yeah. I mean, hormones overall, they require very specific nutrients, and it's very important that we're getting adequate nutrition. And that can be through food. A lot of times people are not eating enough of the essential nutrients. So I think supplements really come into play. And so we got to make sure that that is really on point in order to support the functions of the body. And then we got to support the other things, like your detoxification, making sure that people are sleeping enough. And acupuncture helps to regulate a lot of those things. And
Right.
probably, I think I touched on it a little bit, but one of the things that acupuncture does really, really well is it helps to induce the deep relaxation.
Mhm.
So the parasympathetic response is what it's called. So it takes the body out of fight or flight.
Mhm.
And when people are getting regular treatments, they're spending less time in fight or flight, more in that rest and digest mode.
Mhm.
So the natural function of digestion, detoxification, the blood flow gets returned to all the necessary areas. It helps
Mhm.
the reproductive organs.
Mhm.
And so acupuncture really, like, that's where it shines. Um, and, from another perspective too, any type of stress on the body, whether it's from our minds, whether it's external, or even if it's something such as pain or an injury that never got healed,
Mhm.
like, that's still going to trigger some level of the stress response.
Yeah.
And of course, there's so much research out there about acupuncture and pain, and specifically back pain. There's a
Mhm.
ton of research on that.
Mhm.
So getting someone out of pain can be enough to help regulate the hormones. So it really works in a lot of different ways to help.
Yeah, no, I completely second that. In fact, yesterday I got an acupuncture session done.
Good. I love it.
Yeah, because I was stressed out.
Yep.
Cortisol was kind of acting up on me, and then I literally, when I'm stressed out, and I literally don't do anything else. I just go to an acupuncture and get an acupuncture session done, and the next day I'm all here.
I love it. You need to be our spokesperson. That's what I wish everyone would do.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, so let's just come to the nutrition part. What kind of nutrients? You talked about some of the nutrients that when we are eating, they don't come as part of our food. What do you think is missing when people have hormonal imbalance?
Oh gosh, there can be various things. So, when someone's chronically stressed, it's really easy to deplete things like the B vitamins, like
Mhm.
magnesium, vitamin C. So it's really important to replenish those.
Mhm.
Um, Vitamin D deficiency is rampant. It's one that our body can make on its own,
Mhm.
if we get out in the sun enough, but we're not outdoors enough, or we're not getting that full sunlight exposure. So I think vitamin D is really, really important to supplement. And then some of the other things, I am a big proponent of supplements. I wish that I could eat in a way that got me everything that I need, but I just know that it's not possible for me in particular. And if it were, it would be a full-time job for me, and I've got other things to do. um, so yeah, so I am a big proponent of supplementation. So really looking at things like vitamin C, D, B vitamins, magnesium, and I'm a big proponent of testing, micronutrient testing, to get a real clear picture of the things that your body needs the most.
So, what kind of testing would be like? What type of test is the question?
So they do have micronutrient panels, which will measure your levels of all vitamins and minerals in the body.
Okay.
And it's
So,
a blood test.
and it's a blood test. So,
Mhm.
so the cause, I mean, the sort of like cortisol. Now we're talking about specifically, and the symptoms of cortisol would be stress. Would be the symptom for cortisol imbalance, or anything else like sleeplessness. What else?
Yeah, yeah. I think probably the one that people describe the most is a feeling of being wired but tired. So
Okay.
it's like you're worn out, but you lay down and try to sleep, and it's not happening.
Mhm.
That would be a big one, and just an edginess
Mhm.
is a big one too. Easy to anger, irritability.
Mhm.
Those would probably be the most common. And even if those things aren't present, your cortisol can still be high, and
Mhm.
you can look at things like, is your digestion bad? And this is one thing that I think is really interesting that I ask people is your digestion good on the weekends?
Mhm. Mhm.
Or
Yeah.
is it bad all the time? Because a
Mhm.
lot of times it shuts down during the week because we're stressed because we're at work, but
Yes.
then on the weekends, bowel movements, no problem. So I
Mhm.
think that that's a good digestion can be a good indicator as well.
Sure. So if these are the symptoms that you described, if any one of the person who's listening, you have these, then that means you are stressed out and you need Leah to help you with acupuncture or nutrition.
Yeah, and any acupuncturist. I mean, the more people getting acupuncture, the better. the more steady state, calm people that we have out there, I think the better it is for everyone.
Sure. All right. So we talked about supplements. We talked about acupuncture, which I'm like 200 thumbs up for acupuncture here. And so let's just talk about any particular food groups that, as a nutrition coach, that you recommend that we should load up on.
Yeah, fruits and vegetables, always 100%. Eating a wide variety of colors in your diet is very helpful. For women in particular, if you are having estrogen dominance, or, and it's good for everyone really, just to help support detoxification. And foods such as your cruciferous veggies are going to be really good for that. So your broccoli, Brussels sprouts, just dark leafy greens. And from a Chinese medicine perspective, those support the liver too, which would, in East and West, we're supporting detoxification. So foods that are deep green color. And I'm a big fan of starting the day with lemon water. It's very helpful, and that helps with detoxification, digestion, all kinds of good things.
Sure. So I'm wondering if you can share like an acupressure point that people can do at home if there is a stress level that's kind of a little bit out of control.
Yeah, and it's good that these points are on the head so you can see them. But yeah, actually right between the eyebrows, this is a point, it's called yin tong, and that's really good for calming. And then right on the top of the head as well. So if you're going straight back from that midline, right, and you can actually find it. So you go straight back from the midline and then straight up from the tip of the ears. And you find that point here. And you can just, give it a little press.
Oh, like this? Okay.
A little rotation. Yeah. You can do steady, or you can give it a little bit of a motion. Whatever feels most comfortable for you. So do that. Those two can be used quite nicely to help with focus and help with calming.
Okay. No, I think this helps. Anything else you'd like to add up?
No, I'm so happy that we got to talk about this. And like I said, the more people getting acupuncture, the better for everyone around you. Not only does it benefit you, but your calm and steady state is very pleasant for the rest of the people around you as well.
Absolutely. Yes, for sure. Thank you so much, Leah, for being with us.
Yes, thank you.
Everyone who's watching right now, if you have any questions, you can put it in the comment window. We are happy to take questions. If you don't have any questions, you can also send us later on. We are open here literally 24/7, and we bring an educational sessions to you every single day, either on FB Live or on Insta. So check us out, both places, and let us know your feedback. Last comments from you, Leah? Anything?
Thank you so much for what you do. It's a lot of work that you put into this. So we really appreciate it.
Yes, with your help, with all of your help. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.